Let's move on to Moses Johnson, Virtual Reality Minds. Moses, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Give us some background on you, and then let's dive into what Virtual Reality Minds does.
Well, I guess in 1996, I made a venture from Philadelphia to New York City. I guess in fact it was more like 94. It's just in the middle of the 90s, and a lot of the Silicon Alley companies or lofts or art galleries were becoming startups. We didn't even know what that was. We just knew we wanted to do something really important and significant in these spaces, and we started to gather and we started to work on various projects that became a lot of the technologies that we use today. And so during that time, during that period, I didn't know anything about technology. I wasn't a software engineer or anything. I was able to the rave thing was pretty big back then, and we were bringing technology to parties, and we were helping people engage new technologies while they were partying, while they were listening to the DJs. We would bring technology, introduce them to new ideas, and it started to catch on in New York City. The events, live events, personal events, parties were the ways that companies and people were finding out about new ideas. And so we kind of started, way back then, knowing that, our goal is to bring new technologies to consumers. And we eventually ended up getting an opportunity to help Levi's help. They wanted to find out, how can we get people to buy jeans? How can we get young people? There wasn't the term millennial back then. How do we get these young people to shop on Levi's.com? How do we make this cool? So we brought it to the events, and we introduced it to the young people while they were in their natural habitat. And it just caught on like wildfire. NBC got involved, and we did a bunch of promotional events, and it kind of launched my career.
All right. Talk to us
So
about
that's kind of my, yeah.
video marketing. Let's get into that. And open that up for us.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Open up video marketing for us, because that's what you're doing, right?
Now, fast forward. I mean, one of my mentors back in '96, the guy who kind of said, "Listen, I like what you're doing. Come in." His name is Josh Harris. He was, he was the Mark Cuban of the day. But he was very focused on the content side of it. He brought me in. He was doing internet television. He was trying to do internet television in 1996. We didn't even have bandwidth for internet TV. This guy was trying to do it. And so it kind of stuck with me all these years. And about 8 years ago, I decided to build my own television broadcasting system. I wanted to use the pure internet. I wanted to not use any third-party technology. And I wanted to be my own Ted Turner. I wanted to reinvent MTV, and I wanted to be completely and fully independent. And so I started working on it. I tried various different languages. I tried various different techniques. I sold several of the early archetypes to different companies. One was a pharmaceutical company, not for wealth type of parachutes, but just I ended up being acquired a bunch. All of my restrictions ran out, and I went back to redo it just as YouTube was catching hold. We decided that VR was important, that we wanted to be stereoscopic. We wanted these channels to not only be independent and be able to be run or broadcast by any individual, regardless of their capital, regardless of their location. As long as they had an internet connection, we wanted them to be able to have their own radio or television channel. Again, not using IceCast, not using anything that previously existed. And we want it to look like, on the other side of it, as if people are, and we wanted it to be cheap, like video on demand. We wanted the server to construe the broadcast as something very simple, so the cost would be very low. We achieved this, and now we're headed to market as net neutrality has taken hold, so it's really bizarre.
All right. I used to be in the television IPTV business about 12, 13 years ago, and we were pretty much the pioneers. We worked with a company called Market News First, and now we're planning on going in that direction ourselves. So let me ask you this: are you using a delivery system similar to Akamai or Internap? Because
when it comes to the video, when it comes to how the videos are hosted, we don't host the videos for the channels. We host the scripting, the actual technologies. And, to keep the channel synchronized across devices. So if you are broadcasting on a smart TV, on a smartwatch, on an Android phone, tablet, whatever, it's all synchronized like regular television. But the videos themselves, we like to use Amazon S3. Again, our goal is to allow the smallest publisher to be able to afford to do this, and at the highest quality. So we use Amazon S3.
Yeah, you're entering into a very competitive industry sector. We're running up against a hard break. Let's take a break, and I've got a lot of questions for you on the other side.
Great.
All right, Moses Johnson, Virtual Reality Minds, VRMinds, OsirisTV.com. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. All right, we've got Moses Johnson, Virtual Reality Minds, Osiris TV. He's a CEO and CTO. Moses, I was just talking to Ed Baxter here in the studio about your service, and we got questions coming in from the audience, and I've got questions myself.
I'm sure.
The first thing that popped up from Ed was how do you make money with this? Because it's a lot of code for a lot of platforms.
Yeah, well, it's funny. First of all, I should say advocacy is number one to us. This is not your standard fare startup looking to make $1 billion, right? We obviously want to generate revenue, but this is a publisher-developed platform. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. That's what I was doing in New York City at the time. It's kind of why things led to what they led to in my development. So we didn't develop this to generate revenue, but there are several ways that we can generate revenue. Let me just start from the beginning. We wanted to build a platform that would allow basically the poor man's broadcast system, that would let a guy who's, anywhere in the world just start broadcasting music or television from his own collection of content. And that was kind of a crazy idea, right? And then with what's happened in the last few years while we've been in development, now you've got everyone's a publisher now, and everyone's on YouTube, and everyone's, every day trying to come up with something worthy of a video so that they can keep the user attention. And YouTube has created this system of, I don't want to say slavery, but these publishers are really at their wits' end with trying to operate within the system. And so now we feel that the time has come for our platform, with little adjustments really, to be the vehicle that can help these YouTubers, take their fans and followers off of YouTube and into their own personal private channel. And we think that it's time to do that for a premium. It's a premium offering. We feel that you can charge, that publishers can charge fans access fees. We've seen that be very successful on Twitch. I'm very excited about the business model that Twitch has. They literally have proven that fans and followers want to give money to the publisher. But then you see YouTube Red, and nobody wants to really subscribe to YouTube Red. Even though you're going to get access to some of your favorite YouTubers, the proposition isn't good enough. The fan wants to know that this dollar is going to that guy that makes me happy, that guy that's my friend that sits with me every day, those people that encourage me to stay alive, to pursue my dreams, that make me feel normal. And I want my dollar to go to that guy. And so the problem is when that guy starts using F-bombs or talking about content that may be considered inflammatory or what have you, that guy is literally turned off and kicked off the network. Doesn't matter if he has 80 million subscribers. Doesn't matter how many people tune in every day. He gets turned off. He doesn't get to say, listen, I'm going to be leaving YouTube. Would you guys please, God knows something, stay in touch with me. There's no warning. There's no way to alert the users. And already he has no way to email those users or contact those subscribers. You tell me I've got 10 million YouTube subscribers, but you can't contact them or send them a plea for $1 each, right? Because we want to open a studio and we want to expand our operation. So our goal is to create a vehicle that let your YouTubers, friends, and followers know, listen, we're launching our own channel. It's going to be like $1 a month, or $2 a month. Get our app, our channel, it's going to be broadcast live. So we're going to still go live sometimes. Other times we're going to be running a live linear broadcast of all of our content, exclusive stuff you've never seen. You can buy stuff. You can subscribe. You can support us. You can talk to us. There's a chat room, everything you'd want. It runs on every platform. And come and be with us privately where we won't have the restrictions of content. We won't have the restrictions of access. And we can kind of just be ourselves and really no one can stop us. And so that's kind of what this is.
So Moses,
it's going to help them make money. So
Moses, Ed Baxter from Bison Creek Capital. Just a couple of things that you just brought out in what you just said. One, I guess the first question is, do you see this as a democratization of content as we see it, where essentially people are free from any form of censorship, no matter what they do as far as the public airways is concerned?
That's where I was going to go.
There shouldn't be any form of censorship as far as these guys are concerned, like they will with YouTube. I guess the second would be
if there's laws of the land. Yes.
The second thing, if you do this, and you're creating quote unquote the platform that allows them to monetize their own content, how does that help you?
Well, we take a percentage of that monetization, right, to cover the cost of this is a multi-million-dollar piece of technology, and we want to hand it to you, for little to no cost. I mean, there's a little bit of cost. We say, look, $99 a month justifies our overhead to let you go ahead and run on this platform. Now, taking a flat fee is the only option if you are, we have two ways you can work with us. If you are using licensed content and you can verify that with us, then we can do a revenue share with you and we can kind of get involved with your channel. If you're running a channel that, is kind of open and there's no real parameters to the content, which is great, within the law, we don't share revenue with you. You have to pay a flat fee for running the channel on our app, which, like I said, is about $99 a month at this point. It could get free depending on what kind of funding we get, how we go about this. But it's at this point about $99 a month. If you're going to just do whatever you want, unabashedly. If you have licensed content, then we can do a revenue share. We can work out a lot more. We can be more involved in your channel.
Yeah, Moses, I got one real quick one, and we got to cut it short here, about 30 seconds here. But Clark from New York has asked the length of the video and the use of mid-roll after many minutes. And then, so go ahead. Is it unlimited, or is there a time parameter for what you can put up there?
Oh, you know what? It really kind of grows as we go. I mean, it really has to do with bandwidth. Yeah, if you're going to run a 2-hour motion picture on a channel, you probably have to cut it up into about 6 pieces, just because the technology, just because of how bandwidth works. But there's no limitation if you want to, upload a 5-hour program and broadcast it. There aren't any limitations. I mean, we run 4K content fluidly. So there aren't any limitations, just the device and the bandwidth and your goals.
There's so many more questions, but we're out of time for today. I want to talk to you offline. But thank you, Moses, for being a guest on this show.
Oh, thank you so much. And anyone who is looking to launch a channel, if you're looking to make that move from YouTube and start to become a premium monetized channel, you can find us at OsirisTV.com. That's OSIRUS TV.com.
Got it. Moses Johnson, OsirisTV.com.